human rights advocate and daughter of Uyghur scholar, economist, and human rights advocate Ilham Tohti, the laureate of European Parliament's 2019 Sakharov Award. Jewher was 18 years old when her father was detained by Chinese officials at the Beijing Airport on their way to America. She has not seen her father since and does not even know if he is still alive or not. Her story is just one in millions of children who have been separated from their families by the CCP. Jewher has followed in her father's footsteps in human rights and continues to advocate for the freedom of her father and educating others on Uyghurs' plight. It's an honor to have you join us today, Jewher. Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum. Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. My name is Jewher Ilham. I am the daughter of jailed Uyghur scholar Ilham Tohti and the 2019 Sakharov Award laureate. It has been over 7 years since my father Ilham Tohti has been in prison. And the last time I saw my father was 2013. And I have not heard a word from him, from my father, since 2017. Today, as I am speaking to you, I don't know if my father is alive. Just like so many Uyghur daughters and sons, Uyghur fathers and mothers in the diaspora, we don't know the whereabouts of our family members. And as many of you may have learned over the past few years, it has been estimated by scholars and researchers that the Chinese government has rounded up over 1 to 1.8 million Uyghurs, probably even more, and other Turkic and Muslim majority people to the prison camps, labor camps, re-education camps, or in other words, what the Chinese government calls vocational training schools. And some of them have been transported away from their homes to other parts of China where people have been working in factories under conditions that strongly indicate forced labor. Those are systematic and state-sponsored forms of forced labor, which intersects with other egregious human rights abuses, which includes undermining the Uyghur custom and culture, widespread arbitrary detention, political indoctrination and transformation, family separation, pervasive surveillance, and forced sterilization. And of course, also gender-based sexual harassments, as many of you may have heard from the news. The Chinese government claims that those so-called vocational training schools with barbed fences and watchtowers are for vocational training and also poverty alleviation purposes. I wish that was the truth, and I really wish so, but unfortunately, the truth that I learned is that families have been separated, hearts have been torn, and children and wives are screaming and crying for the missing or the loss of their fathers, husbands, brothers, uncles, aunts, sisters, cousins, mothers. So for the past few years, I may have told my father's story, the Uyghurs' plight, to the world, if not for 500 times, then for at least 100 times. But as you may see, our voices still haven't been heard. My father is still serving a life sentence in a Chinese prison. Hundreds of thousands, even millions of Uyghurs are still being targeted. That's why this is a time we all need to join together and take action to stop this humanitarian crisis from continuing. This needs to stop now, and this should not be allowed to keep being happening. The organization I work for, the Worker Rights Consortium, it's a little introduction. It's a independent labor rights monitoring nonprofit organization, is also part of the coalition to end Uyghur forced labor in the Uyghur region. We're one of the leading and founding member for the coalition, which we had called on companies to urgently end all their links with Uyghur forced labor. With the backing of over 398 organizations around the world, from Uyghur groups to trade unions to investors. And as I know, the Dharma Foundation had also endorsed the call to action, excuse me, the call to action which was launched by the coalition. And with the call to action, we are seeking several sets of actions from companies to end their complicity in this crisis. And at this juncture, no responsible corporation in any sector should be sourcing anything from the Uyghur region. And actually, the US had enforced several laws and import bans to restrict restrict products that are made in the Uyghur region from entering the US, including tomato products, cotton products, and some seafood products and solar products. And I'm also well aware that most people wouldn't want to purchase products, like as consumers, they wouldn't want to purchase products that were made with or tainted by forced labor. So here comes to the main part of my speech or presentation. I'd like to introduce a few ways on how people can be involved and help with the Uyghur cause. So the first step, which is also the most crucial step, which is to educate yourself with credible sources. That is very important. And only by learning the truth, then you can help spread the word. And you never know, your words might reach to the right people one day, and it might cause a positive effect. I would like to, the next step that I really want to do, which is to introduce you all to our coalition website, where you will have most of your questions answered. Will I be able to share my screen here?
Yeah, I can make you a co-host.
Thank you so much.
There you go. You should be able to now.
Thank you. Is everyone able to see my screen now? Okay, great. So this is the website. And UyghurForcedLabor.org. This is the homepage where you will be able to see basically general information on why the textile industry and the solar industry that is so important, so crucial sectors on the Uyghur on this Uyghur advocacy topic, and what the call to action is about, how people can endorse. So from this homepage, if you're an individual or if you are from an organization, you can go fill out this form. You will be able to endorse the call to action, and you will also be able to see which ones are the active coalition members. Here are all the coalition members, and we have over 75 solidarity groups, over 50 investor groups, and over 60 faith-based groups. It's a very diverse coalition, and it's from over 41 countries around the world. So it's a very diverse group. And this is just a little background. So most of the people ask me, yes, I don't want to purchase items that are tainted by forced labor. How do I avoid? And which are the brands that I should definitely avoid, and which are the brands that which ones are the alternative brands that I can choose from? So if you go to the call to action, you will see apparel brands. You click in. Here, you will be able to see all the brands that had publicly endorsed the call to action and have been following the steps that are listed out on the call to action. You will see, just a side note, that these brands are the ones that have publicly. Some brands have not been going on public yet, but the list, so the good brands list are actually longer. It's just, unfortunately, not all the brands are able to go public at the moment. But you can see for ASOS, British brand Island Fisher, Marks and Spencer, OVS, US brand Reformation, TFG Group, We Fashion. And if you want to have a list of brands that you should avoid purchasing, or it will be, of course, depends on individual choices, how you like to proceed. But here's a brand list where you will be able to find that the brands that can, where you can define which ones have not yet taken credible steps outlined in the call to action. The coalition had reached out to all these brands listed here. And I think it's, for me, it was a very helpful way, because I personally love shopping. I know most of my friends love shopping. I know it is a crucial, very difficult steps when you have to avoid certain things, especially when they're in a very good price. And some of the audience today might be students, and they prefer to purchase like affordable brands. So I totally understand, but here you have some options. And besides that, you will also be able to avoid purchasing forced labor tented products by supporting Uyghur based businesses. For example, Uyghur Collective, and there are other brands. I'm just listing one example here. I remember Diamond Foundation had posted on Instagram. I just shared it as well on my Instagram as well. A list of Uyghur owned businesses. You can go to support them. They're mostly shipped worldwide. So I do know most of them are handmade or made in countries where they're based instead of made in China. And I do know that they have I do know most of the owners of these brands, and they had stated that they've been avoiding sourcing raw materials from the Uyghur region as well. So, you know, you're safe. And besides that, you can also, this website can also tell you this section is for statements and press releases from the coalition. But what's also more important, where you can find credible sources to learn about this cause. You can see from the press section. So this press section, you will see all the news articles that are related to forced labor, and most of them have been involved by the coalition. So I personally think they're very credible, but it will be up to you to determine which ones you would like to learn more information from. So it's based on dates, and it's in 12 different languages. It contains languages from 12 different countries. And I know that also people most interested about what other specific steps I can do to help. How else can I be involved? So you can click into related actions. If you scroll down, you'll be able to see all the action items that are happening around the world. You can see there's a documentary film. This is the Uyghur Tribunal hearing in June. And this is how you can write to, if you're based in the US, you can write to your senators or representatives to support to pass the Forced Labor Prevention Act. And here it's there are like webinars, events, campaigns, protests, rallies, etc. You'll be able to find all kinds of direct specific steps that you can take through this page, and it's just up to you to decide which ones suitable for you and which country you are based, so you can which one is most convenient for you to follow up on specific actions. So that is it for the website. And speaking of, I just mentioned the Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act. Good news is that it has passed the Senate. You will be able to see it from this website. You can just Google Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act, and you will be able to follow up on the track that what's the stage for this bill. And you will be able, going back to this page, you will be able to send right to your representatives and to urge them to continue to support the bill, and eventually, hopefully, this will pass the House one day. And that will be the end of my presentation. I am happy to answer any questions